Aquarius, welcome back to my channel here at the Herb Lady. Thank you guys for returning back to my channel, and thank you guys so much for all of your support. It is very, very much appreciated. I hope this video finds you guys well, or as well as you can be in this current climate and with the changes that are taking place. I know that fall, it can typically be a difficult time for some, and for others it can be a great time. I know personally for myself, I like to put it as the weekend says, I come alive in the fall time. So with that being said, we're gonna get into the video here. As you guys can see by the title, this is titled Planetary General Monthly Reading for Aquarius. So what I mean by planetary is I changed up the spread. I'm now doing what's called a planetary spread. This spread integrates astrology and tarot together. So what this spread does is that it looks at how the transits, which is movement of the planets through the zodiac signs, is affecting Aquarius for the month of October. We pull a card for each planet going from all the way from the sun to Saturn. That's 7 cards that we pull. And in those 7 cards, we look at 7 different areas of life that is affecting Aquarius. Okay? Now this spread, I got the spread from my new Mythic Tarot deck book. And they had the spread featured in that book, but what I did is that I remixed the spread for general readings and remixed it even further for individual readings. And if you guys would like a link to the new Mythic Tarot deck, it's in my description box below, and the link to my Squarespace page to book a Planetary Times reading is in the link below. Now with that particular reading, that reading typically costs about $150. I am doing a special on that reading. That reading is now $55 all the way until November 15th. And I've extended the specials on my $5 and $10 readings. So if you guys would like to book a reading with me, please definitely, click on my link below, book a reading, and we could get it popping. All right. So now, if you guys could do me a favor at the end of this reading, leave a comment in the comments box below and let me know what was your favorite part of the reading. What planet do you guys resonate the most with? What parts of your life do you feel like you're experiencing the most pressure from? Because your comments are appreciated, your feedback is appreciated, and it's definitely seen and heard here at the Herb Lady. I feel like definitely with my mission here, my mission is not to just preach tarot to anybody. My mission is to be interactive with the queries, with the people that I'm reading for, and to see what it is that's really on you guys' mind, and to see how my messages, or how the messages from spirit is making a difference for you guys. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and get started here. I'm going to briefly go over the transits. Remember, you guys, as I said, the transits is basically the planets moving through each sign. For example, the sun right now is in Libra. When we talk about Libra season or Scorpio season or Aquarius season, we're talking about the sun being in that sign for that particular set amount of time. So right now the sun is in Libra. The sun will be in Libra until October 23rd, where it will transition into Scorpio. And then we have AKA Scorpio season. And then from there we go to Mercury, the planet Mercury. Right now Mercury is in Scorpio until October 29th, where it will then retrograde back into Libra. So and then go back into Scorpio at some point in November. And then Venus is in Leo until October 3rd. By October 3rd, it will transition into Virgo, where some of you guys may be seeing those dramatic highs and lows in your relationship and in your love life. You're gonna get some more of that. You're gonna get some stability when it transitions into Virgo for the month of October. Mars is in Aries right now in the retrograde, which means that normal aggression, all out war type energy is being slowed down to where people are being forced to observe where the source of their aggression is coming from, why it is that they're responding, and really process before they act. And then Jupiter is in Capricorn all month as well. Jupiter is in a sign that it does not like to be in. Capricorn is ruled by Saturn. Saturn is the ruler of limitations and restrictions. Jupiter is the ruler of expansion and gains. So Jupiter is in a sign right now that's forcing it to be limited and be restricted, or it can be expanding a lot of limiting and restricting factors in our lives at the moment. And then you have Saturn. Saturn is in Capricorn all month, and Saturn went direct yesterday, September 29th. So, with that being said, let's go ahead and hop into the reading. I'm going to pull an oracle card from my Universe Has Your Back deck. The link to this deck is also in the description box below. This is not necessarily an oracle deck. It's more of a positive affirmation deck. It's sold by Gabrielle Bernstein. It's definitely a deck worth purchasing because it's full of positive and wonderful and insightful messages for us to all glean on and grow from, Aquarius. So I'm going to pull one card from The Universe Has Your Back as the overall theme and message for Aquarius reading. I need one card for Aquarius. Okay. So you guys got two cards. And for some reason, this deck today wants to put out more than one card. The first card is the universe works fast when I'm having fun. It's asking you, Aquarius, you guys, to really lighten up your load and have fun with the process, because the process, it takes time, and when you come at it so seriously all the time, you can drag it out and make it take even longer than necessary. And then your second message is, when I lean toward love, I am led. So this is asking Aquarius to be led by love, to lean toward love. And even in Capricorn, this theme kind of was featured where it was talking about, love is a powerful energy. Love is an energy that overtakes and overdoes, it overrules those negative energies. And when you allow yourself to operate out of love, you literally are able to steer the entire situation toward the direction for the better. You're able to see people's most beautiful traits and qualities come out, and you're able to get better results. And especially in terms of it saying, when I lean toward love, I am led. You are able to see how your reaction out of love leads you to a better situation, leads you to a better reaction from the person, place, or thing that you are dealing with, Aquarius. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and get in the reading here. Like I said in the first card here, the first card, we're talking about the sun. The sun is what represents who we are. It represents our ego, and it represents our individual goals. So we're looking at how the sun in Libra is affecting our ego, who we truly are, and our individual goals. Because remember, our ascendant is what we come off as, who we present as, but that's not who we are. Who we really are is the sun. That is our ego. That is self. That is conscious self. So with that, we pull a card to see how the sun in Libra is affecting our conscious self and the individual goals that our conscious self has set, Aquarius. So we're going to pull one card here. Okay. Okay. So you guys got Six of Cups in the reverse. Now, with the sun in Libra, what I'm getting with Six of Cups in reverse is the sun in Libra is kind of bringing you guys to a place where you're feeling nostalgic. You're feeling like you are looking back on your past and you're assessing all the choices that you have made in your past leading up to this present moment, Aquarius. That's what the sun in Libra is kind of bringing on you guys. You're trying to see if the choices that you have made thus far have been balanced choices, have been choices that have come from a balanced headspace, or if they've been emotionally charged choices that literally have resulted to your detriment. It's not to say that you are actively visiting the past. It's just to say that you're reflecting on the past. You guys are not turning toward the past and trying to go relive your past or remake or redo your past. You guys are reflecting on your past and on your past emotional states and how your past emotional states are affecting your current and present emotional state. So right now, you know, literally the sun has you guys in a very reflective place where you guys are trying to figure some things out personally and emotionally. So with that being said, we're going to move into the moon. And now with the moon, because unlike the sun, which transitions every, you know, about, I'd say every month, the moon transitions every 2 to 3 days. Within 28 days, we go through the entire zodiac. So, and in October, we have 2 full moons, one on October 1st, which is the full moon in Aries, and then the other on October 31st, which is the full moon in Taurus. And with that being said, we may have a very emotionally charged month for the month of October, where we see a lot of emotional ups and downs because moon represents our emotions, moon represents our home life, moon represents privacy, and moon is also ruled by Cancer. Okay, so now we're going to see how the moon cycle is going to affect Aquarius for the month of October. All right, so with you guys having the Three of Wands in the reverse, that tells me that you guys have had, you know, your ships, so to speak, come in. Everything that you had pretty much asked for on a spiritual level, everything that you prayed for on a spiritual level, you're now seeing it come in, and you're kind of looking at it and you're not fully satisfied with the result. So that kind of goes back to the Six of Cups is working in tangent with the Six of Cups because of the fact that emotionally you guys are not feeling fully satisfied. You're not feeling very satisfied emotionally. So you're now looking at the decisions that you have made all the way up to this point to bring you to this point so you can figure out and make sense of why in this point am I not feeling satisfied with my current situation. But either way, you know, you guys manifested it. Either way, this is a situation that you guys asked for, and you're now seeing the results of it. So this is kind of the same deal that Capricorn had going on, except, you know, for Capricorn, this is something that they actively wished for. For you guys, it seems like either you've prayed for this, you know, prayed for it indirectly, not knowing what it is that you were praying for, or you guys literally just kept dwelling and dwelling and dwelling on it and unintentionally manifested the situation in your life. So it's like, you know, definitely that is a lesson in and of itself to keep in mind, Aquarius, you know, because it's like where your mind dwells is where your reality dwells. The more that you give spirit the attention or the intention of what you want, the more that spirit is going to bounce back with what you want. And then it's going to turn into the physical. And by that point, you've already put a whole entire process in motion. And now you're having a hard time with the result because even though in your mind that's where you were dwelling, that wasn't the result that you per se wanted for yourself. Okay? So usually in a personal reading, we would ask the moon for advice on how to remedy the situation, so to speak. Not to say that this is totally bad. It's not great, but it's not totally bad. This is just a situation that needs refinement. And in a personal reading, this is the point where we would ask where we can refine the situation and remedy it in order for Aquarius to cope a little bit better with the situation that has been manifested at hand. All right, so going into Mercury. With Mercury, Mercury is the sign that rules communication, it rules intellect, it rules schools, it rules philosophy and abstract thinking. It also rules travel, and to an extent, it rules career. So we look at how Mercury being in Scorpio is going to affect Aquarius for the upcoming month of October. Now, remember, we do have a Mercury retrograde. It is the last retrograde of 2020, and I believe it starts somewhere around the middle of October into November 3rd, I believe. So we got about 3 weeks of retrograde coming up ahead of us here. We're gonna see how this energy is going to affect Aquarius. So now, for you guys, I would definitely take into account of watching what comes out of your mouth and watching your passions, watching your spiritual energy and where it is being directed. Also, watching your temper, because literally, you guys could be at a place where you are already feeling disgruntled. You've been feeling it for a minute. And, with Mercury retrograde coming up, it's making communication all the more difficult for you guys. And it's resulting in explosive communication where there's a lot of arguments, a lot of yelling, a lot of screaming. So you guys definitely want to check your emotions, and you want to go back to the lesson of leading with love. Literally, leading with love. When you learn from love, you're led through love, and then you learn so many lessons through acting out of a place of love, because literally this energy right here, this is an energy of complete conflict, especially given the fact that Aquarius is ruled by Saturn, is ruled by restriction, but Aquarius is also ruled by the 11th house. The 11th house is community and communication, and it's chatty, and it wants to talk to friends. But with Mercury actively being in Scorpio, it's squaring you guys. It's squaring your energy, which means that you're experiencing a lot of tenseness. There's a lot of intensity and a lot of tenseness because you guys are feeling like you can't really communicate, and you have to keep shit to yourself, and you already don't like doing that, Aquarius. So I would definitely keep in mind, do a little bit more meditation, do a bit more mantras, do a little bit more of whatever you need to do in order to keep you out of that energy of rage and wanting to explode and flip the script, because it's not going to benefit you at this particular point in time. It's okay to feel that, but is it just where you are aiming your anger, exploding and going off and yelling and using cruel words? Is that okay? Are you just in that? Because always feeling it and processing the feeling and letting it out and letting it be known that you're angry, you can do that in a healthy way, Aquarius. Just keep that in mind, okay? All right, so going into Venus, we all know Venus is kind of a pretty obvious sign. Venus rules love, it rules relationships, it rules interpersonal relationships between a spouse, between parents and their children, even, between very close family members. But for the most part, Venus a lot of the time likes to focus on relationships. Now, while Venus is known as the grand benefic planet along with Jupiter, just remember, with planets that are beneficiary and bestow a lot of great energy, they can snatch that energy back just as quick as they've given it. Because if your karma does not stack right and you engage in a lot of harmful activities and in a lot of harmful ways of being in a relationship, Venus, who already doesn't like that type of energy, will definitely bestow karma on you, where you are on the receiving end of that energy that you put out in previous relationships. So we're going to see how Venus transiting through Virgo is going to affect Aquarius for the month of October. All right. So the first message that I got is run. You guys want to move on from whatever the fuck this situation is that you all are in. Literally, it is one of those situations where you guys want to run. This shit is not working. You're feeling like it's not working. There's gonna be a lot of arguing, so you're definitely gonna just want to be like, peace, deuces. I'm chalking up my deuces. I'm out. I'm over it. But it's at the same time, while you definitely feel that energy to move on and to move out, Venus transitioning into Virgo, it seems like you guys have been feeling that energy, but with Venus transitioning into Virgo, and with Virgo bringing in that sustained sense of stability and that mundaneness where it's now bringing you down into a place of realistic thinking. You're coming out of Venus in Leo, which has been it's your opposition, so you're seeing a lot of dramatic highs and lows, and you're being brought into Venus and Virgo where things are kind of stabilizing a little bit more. And Virgo looks at things in the long term, and it also looks at things in the amount of work that she has to put into it. So with Venus being in Virgo, you guys want to move on away from this relationship, but right now you're being brought into a place where all of that is being put to the halt, because usually the Chariot in the upright is the green light. The Chariot in the reverse is the red light. You guys are given a solid red light because it's definitely telling you to work through this situation with love. It's telling you to master this situation with love, because the only way that you can break the cycle of discontentment in your life is to work through the cycle of discontentment and to make sense of the cycle. And sometimes you got to argue. Sometimes there's going to be explosive fights. Sometimes you're going to have fights. You're going to have to argue. You're going to have to learn the hard way and really reflect on it in order to be able to work through it, in order to be able to work through the patterns that you're pulling in towards you, Aquarius. Okay? So with that being said, for Venus, you guys are in a place where you feel like this isn't working. You feel like you don't really want this, you're transitioning on into a place where you're being forced to stop and be accountable for your part and where this isn't working, and to reflect on how to either make this work or how to stop this pattern from reoccurring. Okay? So we're going to move on into Mars. Mars speaks about aggression. It speaks to that aggressive energy that takes place, the conflict in our lives. Mars rules, war, where Mars in Aries, the more conscious side of Mars, rules all out war, where it's war that's completely in front of you, war that is seen in the physical, where Mars in Scorpio rules the unseen wars, the wars that take place behind closed doors, that take place in other realms, aka the spiritual warfare that we continuously speak about. That is a Mars and Scorpio energy. So with Mars being in Aries right now, especially with it being in retrograde, we're talking about where it's a current period of conflict. There's a lot of open conflict, but right now with it being in retrograde, everything is slowed down so that we can all reflect on where it is that conflict is coming from, and why it is that we feel the need to stress so much conflict in this area of our lives. So with us reflecting on Mars right now, we're going to look at how this Mars transit is affecting Aquarius for the month of October. All right. So with Aquarius, this is definitely your energy. The Queen of Swords speaks to definite Aquarius energy here, and you guys kind of are in a place where with Mars going into retrograde, and after just going through so much drama, probably like in this past month or so, maybe for September, maybe throughout the whole summer, you have gone through so much drama where you're just in a place where you are ready to cut this shit off at the head. Like literally the Queen of Swords in the upright position, you know, she holds the sword up in truth. The sword cuts through all of the bullshit so that complete clarity is made of a situation. It seems like you guys have been given none of that. Even in your upright position, the sword has been upright. You've been trying to cut through all the bullshit in order to achieve perfect clarity of the situation in front of you. While at the same time, she pours the vase of water onto the ground. You're pouring out your emotions. You're bearing the water. You're bearing the emotions, but you're not letting the emotions overtake you. Aquarius, you guys have been in this position continuously for like the past however long you've been dealing with this situation. And now you guys are in a place where you're just like, you know what? All of my efforts seem to be to no avail. I'm ready to cut this shit off. I'm ready to cut this shit all the way down to the root. And given the fact that's probably where your Five of Wands energy is coming in, because remember, Mercury is about to be in Scorpio. Mercury is in Scorpio right now. Scorpio is a co-ruler of Mars. So, and remember we said Mercury in Scorpio is the unconscious side of war. It's the silent war, but the more deadly war, because you don't see the shit that is coming. And for you guys in your arsenal, you're holding a big ass sword up where you once used it for clarity and truth. You're now about to use that bitch in order to cut somebody's head off. And they might deserve it. Who knows? So just keep in mind, you guys are definitely in a place of conflict. You're ready to wage war. You're ready to scream and shout. But even at the same time, Venus is still putting you in a place where you cannot quite move. You're still in a big ass red light, Aquarius. You guys are still being given the big cosmic red light right now that says you cannot move right now. You cannot move away from this right now because you haven't learned the lesson yet. So, you know, you guys, reflection is definitely being called for in terms of, you know, this scenario, whatever scenario this is that has you in a place where you're feeling like you have to be aggressive and be assertive. So we're going to go into Jupiter. Remember, Jupiter is like Venus, the great benefic. Jupiter bestows great beneficial energy to any and everybody, but Jupiter does not give unknowingly or undeservingly. So with that being said, with Jupiter being in Capricorn right now, as we can see, Jupiter is at its fall right now. Jupiter is in a place where it's struggling to operate in its ideal space because Jupiter is in a sign that's ruled by restriction. So what we see here is how Jupiter is affecting Aquarius for the month of October in terms of the areas of life that impact Aquarius's benefits and gains and expansion and even possibly travel. All right. So it looks like Jupiter is expanding the spirit of hard work for you guys. This goes back to the point of the Chariot being in the reverse. So with the Chariot giving you that big cosmic red light on whatever this situation is that you guys are struggling with as far as Venus, Jupiter is expanding the point that you guys have to work on this. That is saying you must put in work. It's expanding your need and your want to work on this because this is not the energy for you guys. This raging energy, this battalion of energies is not it for you guys. It's a very uncomfortable place for Aquarius to be in, especially when you guys would rather be spending your time doing more intellectual suits or, you know, creating some rad shit with your otherworldly type minds. Like, you know, Jupiter is definitely saying, okay, you're getting a red light. This situation is making you uncomfortable, but the universe is not allowing you to move away from this situation, which is making you even more uncomfortable. But I'm expanding your ability to be able to work through this situation and work on this situation. It's even expanding your ability to be able to put in the work in order to make some money. Jupiter can definitely be expanding your coins right now. You guys could be experiencing a a huge gain in money right now, especially if Jupiter is in your second house or you have Capricorn in your second house. You could be experiencing some gains, experiencing some monetary influences right now. So, and then even like with that, the universe works fast when you're having fun. I know that it's hard to have fun in conflict, but sometimes in conflict you have to be able to see the silver lining. So we're going to move on to the last placement, which is Saturn. Once again, Saturn is in Capricorn right now. Saturn just went direct yesterday, which means that it came out of a retrograde. It's out of the period of reflection. Saturn is now balls to the walls because Saturn is in its last few months of being in its home sign of Capricorn. Like its home sign. You know, Capricorn is co-ruled with Aquarius, but it's definitely like at home in Capricorn. So with that being said, Saturn is at its place where it's operating at optimal peak for restriction, for limitation. Saturn is definitely like the father of time. He's the father of discipline. He will not hesitate to discipline you and to sit you down and give you a what's what and a who's who, because, you know, that's his job. He's the father energy. And like with Saturn doing that, you know, a lot of people say that Saturn is a great malefic planet. Yes, he is, but he is a malefic planet that brings great rewards if you work with him. Saturn is like that cantankerous grandfather who sees everything that's wrong with you, but if you try to work with all of that and work with him and really show him that you're dedicated to improving yourself, he always has wads of cash, or he has wads of jewels of wisdom to drop on you, but he wants to see that you're worth it. That's basically what Saturn is asking for. So with that, we're seeing how the Saturn and Capricorn transit is affecting Aquarius sun right now. All right. So it looks like you guys are getting a very emotional message that's going to come in for the month of October. You guys are going to receive a message possibly from a young water sign, or you're just going to receive a message that is very emotional, that's going to make you feel very restricted and limited in how you can move forward from the month of October going forward. You guys are going to definitely, from what it seems like, Saturn is going to put you guys in a position where you are going to be limited in your movements, and you're going to be in a place where you're going to need some extra support and extra help. From what I'm getting, like right now, I'm literally getting like this sinking feeling in the pit of my stomach. It's going to be one of those type of messages where it's going to make you guys kind of feel like you're falling. But remember, you know, Saturn is not there to let you just fall on your face and be left in limbo. Saturn doesn't do that. Saturn will support you when you are showing that you're trying to put in the work and make things happen for yourself. Take the lesson from Jupiter, where Jupiter is expanding your ability to put in the work. You know, you may see some fallback, some blowback with Saturn, but that's only because Saturn wants you to prove yourself, Aquarius. And when you do prove yourself, Saturn is literally going to lift you up completely up out of that area and put you in a place where you are able to resolve this conflict, this emotional and outward conflict that you're having going on right now. Because right now it's like I see a lot of activity in this card. Like I see a lot of just mentally, you guys are ready to pounce because there's so much going on outside of you. And you know, Jupiter is saying, put the work in. I will help you. I will expand it for you. I will make it make sense, but put the work in. And Saturn is saying, you know, you may get a message. You're probably going to get an emotional windfall, an emotional message, an emotional clarity may come in. You may not appreciate it, but it's going to make you better for it in the end. So take that advice from Saturn, take that advice from Jupiter, you know, understand your situation, understand, you know, what your conscious what you are doing, subconsciously how it's making you feel. That's your sun and your moon energy. Tie it all together, Aquarius, and really glean from it. You guys got this. You know, you're just going to have to put in the work on this, and you're definitely going to have to create a love-based environment for yourselves. When you feel like you want to respond with quick, snapping, hurtful words, you're going to have to reevaluate and come back with messages of love, wisdom, and encouragement in order to get the response that you need. You know, try to see the silver lining in the situation. Try to find fun where there is none so that the universe can work quickly within your favor, Aquarius. I love you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this reading. Once again, leave a comment in the comment box below. Let me know what you thought of this reading. What was your favorite part of the reading? Let me know what parts of the reading made sense for you, what parts of the readings didn't make sense for you. And follow me on Instagram, you guys. All the support, any and all support is appreciated. You know, and subscribe to my channel. Literally subscribe to my channel, because here we're trying to build evolution of spirituality. We're trying to expand the consciousness. We're trying to help those who are coming into their light. And we are all still coming into our lights in one phase or the other. And here at the Herb Lady, we help everybody regardless of what phase that they are at. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. I love you guys. Take care of yourselves out in these streets. Drink your water, mind your business, and just remember, let love rule your reality. Let love take over for you, because love can make some awesome things happen for you, okay? I love you guys. Ashe.